Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Taking a quick look here again at Avalanche, seeing what's going on with this wonderful coin. It doesn't look great from the outside looking in here, but we're going to dive a little deeper and kind of see what's going on in the back end to help understand specifically where we're at here. But it had a pretty massive sell-off, and Avalanche is due for some correction. Obviously, this might be it, but in general, in its history, Avalanche is a little streaky sometimes. So just got to be kind of mindful of that. Let's also think, what was that? Oh yeah, that's right. We have an exclusive partnership here, obviously with Bitunix, you know that, but we have an exclusive campaign. So if you use my referral link, you'd benefit from $20 bonus in just trading futures. Okay, so simply put, you just have to use my link there to essentially qualify. That's running from November 23rd to the 30th. Link down below for that. Be sure to check that out, though. They're phenomenal. No KYC, no VPN exchange, and they've been really good to us as a community. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate you. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at the back end first and work our way down. And we can kind of see tons and tons of liquidity has been swept, okay? So some longs at about $20, which was a previous support level, by the way, was essentially swept pretty hard. Again, most recent low oftentimes is where people put their most amount of leverage and or stop losses, and that's what occurred. So we saw that happen there. We do have some late longs here, which actually, this might actually, when you think about it, might be early longs, come to think of it, at about 1880 there, where they bought the dip effectively, and hopefully those will continue. So the truth here is that there's not a ton of liquidity on either side. Most of it got swept, and there's not a lot of shorts left in the game either. So it really just tells us here that profits have been taken, and this coin kind of hit the big old reset button, which is kind of good. We need to have that sometimes. Some other coins that have done that flourish and do very well because there's really no resistance on either direction. But we do got to recognize, again, still overextended. We lost our long-term ascending trend. That wasn't like a massive trend. We're not below any moving averages. That was just kind of a situation where we had a few higher lows and we discontinued that. Okay, so do not be overly concerned with losing that trend line. That's not a massive deal breaker. We are on the verge of a MACD divergence, of course, not the reason to take a trade, but it is something to recognize that the shift in momentum could be occurring. Furthermore, too, we are on good plane, or good, I guess a good situation rather, a healthy plane, if you will, on the RSI, right there between 50 and 70. That's kind of a sweet spot. We want actually the price to be at that level and naturalize itself there for a little while, because then we can start to develop an average true range, because right now it's kind of all over the place, all right? So again, it's good and bad depending on how you look at it, but truth be told, that the daily isn't terrible. We're still above all moving averages. Volume still remains overall fairly high, and we're in decent shape, okay? 4 hours really going to be telling us a little bit more of a better story here. We can see the most recent volume profile is about $22, so we can presume that 0.5 Fibonacci, big surprise, halfway mark, is effectively a new resistance. We can see it rejected out here pretty hard roughly 24 hours ago before Bitcoin took a nice little dump. Okay, so what does this mean for us? Well, we're underneath the 20 and the 50. That's not the greatest. Okay, those are two things we want to be above in order to have some kind of a fighting chance. So to me, I'd much rather be above this $21 mark in order to feel confident with the long. Taking a look at the RSI, though, we can see money flow index is extremely low. This is typically a sign to buy, just to keep that in mind. In most cases, at least on the 4 hour, I've noticed, because it gives us indication that money has flowed so far out of this coin that there's a great chance we need the price action to recover. Or at least it'll naturally recover because it's at the overexhausted state, where in the last 14 candles, we've seen a lot of money coming out of this coin. We can see this right here. This is basically the last 2.5 days of trading, and that's telling us that we are due for a correction to the upside. We might have already corrected the upside of this little jump, but we got to close above at least $20 today to be able to have a fighting chance. We got this previous resistance turned support turned resistance. No, that's actually going to be a new support level there. So closing above 1982 is going to be helpful. That was a recent high. While that's not a super strong level, I think the easiest way to summarize it is $20 or higher would put us back in the game. Tentatively. I like to emphasize that because we're not converging on the MACD just yet. We're not in a situation where we are over the 50 in the RSI. But again, closing above 20 will get us closer. So again, we're still in the infant stages of this reversal. There's a few things we need to identify first in order for that to occur. And I've been talking about this a lot in my videos today, just because trend reversals are important to recognize both directions that you had, right? Because again, in order to reverse this trend, because we are seeing lower highs, right, and lower lows. So in order to reverse this trend, we need to do, typically the first step is to go range bound. Okay, so we could be range bound between 1885 and just say 2025, right in that range. but we don't know yet. We haven't broken free from that range, right? So hypothetically, we go range bound for a little while. That'd be a positive sign. That'd be a start. Alternative number 2, the better case scenario, is to establish a higher low, which we can't understand until it bottoms out yet, right? So hypothetically, this right here is a low, and we establish a higher high above this point. That would be a trend reversal, helping us understand we're in better shape. It wouldn't be a complete reversal, mainly because we want to be able to get above this most recent high. That's the biggest determining factor here. So that's how we'd officially sweep that. So in a perfect world, the price does one of these, and then we're in good shape, okay? Something along those lines would be appropriate. That's ultimately what we're looking for. But for right now, we'll take range-bound activity because that's essentially what we're wanting initially, to establish that range of volume at a lower price point. So to touch on this here, this is the kind of the confirmational tool that I use. Ichimoku Cloud, search my channel for it if you want to know how to utilize it. But it's simple as understanding that the lagging span is soon intersect with the price action. So if you have a short position open, your window of opportunity is closing. You probably should have closed your profits by now if you haven't taken profits on a short. I think shame on you, you're a little too greedy. Again, it could continue lower and you luck out and it's all well and good and I'm wrong. I'm fine with that. But if you never secure profits, you're never going to be profitable, right? So just learn to adjust your stop loss lower as your profit gets higher, or inverse, of course, on the way up. That said, though, the conversion line is below the baseline. That gives us momentum to the downside, still implying that we have this downward trend. We're still trending down. And then furthermore, we got the cloud here as well, okay? So being below the cloud, essentially, it's somewhat of a moving average. We are not in a good shape to feel comfortable. So again, perfect world, the price action bottoms out here. It does one of these. We're naturally above the cloud. We take confirmation after confirming we are above the cloud. And then at that point, if other contributing factors are present, we consider a long, okay? I think taking a long right now is a little too risky. A lot of folks just, buy the dip and, have some success with it. That's perfectly fine, but you're kind of almost gambling because, again, a lot of this is contingent on Bitcoin having a good or bad day. And if Bitcoin wants to just dump today, then all this doesn't matter, okay? Again, you gotta pay attention to that. So be sure to tune into my daily Bitcoin analysis videos. I analyze it roughly twice a day. So important to kind of stay abreast on that. But at this point here, we're in good shape with Avalanche. I just wouldn't say we're in the clear yet. Hopefully that made sense. Thanks again for joining me here. Again, you want to become a better trader, jump on over to our Discord. We got a Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, of course, obviously. But we are scalping the heck out of Avalanche and ETH and Solana over the last few days there, and you can kind of see that we're in pretty good shape. While we do take an occasional stop loss, we do need to recognize that. That's when that massive swing came down. For the most part, we're turning profit very, very consistent, right? So we take a look at some of our more recent scalps here. These are, again, scalping trades. We're looking at about 5 to 6% for these little guys. Really cool stuff. But again, just part of the group there. It's just some kind of fun stuff. More important, I would say take advantage of this $20 campaign period over the next week through this exclusive partner here, Bitunix. Again, no VPN, no KYC required. Thanks again so much for watching. Hope you learned something here today. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take good care.